Thank you so much for joining us today on Hootie's Hot Seat. I'm Reed Rampinelli, joined by LeBlanc, and we're here with Hootie today.
So, Hootie, I'm sure that you heard recently that you were ranked currently number 78th in all of the Northeast sports region for scariest mascots. And do you think that has any influence on them probably rebranding you in the coming future?
Yeah, you. We're talking about rebranding.
Is that it?
We good?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hootie's Hot Seat. I'm LeBlanc.
I'm Reed Rampinelli. Today joining us is Ksc Volleyball captain player Olah. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm honored.
So how long have you been playing volleyball, and what would you say your favorite volleyball moment is?
So going on 8 years, currently 7. So not too long, I feel like, for college athletes. My favorite volleyball memory, I'll probably have to go back to high school. My junior year, right before COVID, we won the state championship, which I feel like that's a little small victory for high school state championship, but I think it's still something super cool that I'll hold on to forever type thing. But yeah.
What kind of skill set do you think is the most important for a volleyball player to have?
That's a really good question. I feel like volleyball players and athletes just in general, I feel like you need to have like the basic ones. So, good communication. I think leadership skills are important in no matter the sport you play. Discipline, that's like a huge one. Responsibility, you have to hold yourself accountable, stuff like that. So just those across the board. I think in volleyball, you also need to not be afraid to make mistakes, because that's the whole point of the sport, is that you're making errors so that the other team gets points. So you need to just go out there, and you can't really let little errors like affect your confidence. So you just need to be able to be just a good game player. I don't know. Yeah.
What would you say your favorite moment was playing for Coach Weiner?
Oh gosh. Probably winning LECs. I feel like that was just a super cool thing for us. We were the underdogs, especially winning against Plym. You couldn't ask for anything else. And then on top of that, we went to the NCAA tournament. That didn't really go exactly how we would like. We weren't there for too long, but I think that that's something that I'll hold on to forever. And it was just such a fun trip with Coach. So yeah.
How would you describe the chemistry and camaraderie from everybody on the team?
So we're a smaller group. I think for a girls team, there was only about, I could be totally wrong, but I want to say 16 of us. So there's a few girls from each grade. We all get along pretty well. Obviously, there's like that general, like some grades are closer with others. But at the same time, like there's like those big sister, little sister moments, and I think that we're all just one big little happy family.
What would you say your first reaction was when you heard that your coach was retiring after you committed to playing here for 3 years for him?
I kind of froze, and it was one of those things where he actually brought me into his office and he told me, and I kind of just sat there and I told him, I looked him in the eye and I was like, I'm not mad, but I'm sad. Because it's one of those things, adversity happens, like change is a part of life. It's not my favorite thing, but I just kind of was thinking about the possibilities of, okay, who could be coming in? And this is one of those situations where I'm already in a leadership position, but it kind of pushes me to step up a little bit more than I feel like I would have had to if he was still staying here. So, I'm super happy for him, but it's just one of those things that it's unfortunate.
How do you adapt your play style to play against teams with a strong defense? Do you continue with your usual game plans that you carry from game to game, or do you guys have anything special in your back pocket?
So we definitely play game to game. I feel like, when we do scouting, we like to see, where to hit the ball. It sounds super easy, but genuinely, like hitting a ball off a set, you're trying to avoid certain people, trying to avoid the big 6-foot block in front of you, so it is a little bit difficult. Some of us have what we call like our toolbox, which is where, rather than just spiking the ball every single time, you'll tip it short, or you'll try to do more of like a tricky strategic play. For me personally, I like to do something called a tool. So I'll purposely hit into the block so it deflects off their hands and out of bounds. It's just easy ways to get points too. It's just like you have to be strategic about, especially I'm 5'9", but I go against girls who are like 6'2", and I got to just be smart. So yeah, good question.
So when you say that, you're in a leadership role trying to help your team find a new coach, would you say you have like nerves, and like what would you look for bringing in a coach for your final season?
I would say there's some nerves. I do think We're actually in great hands though. Marty and Sarah Testo are, they're obviously helping us with the search, and I think I couldn't ask for anybody better to help. And obviously the volleyball world is a lot bigger than I actually thought it was. So there's a lot of candidates coming in, but quality-wise, I feel like just kind of like similar to like a good athlete. So you want that leadership, you want that responsibility, accountability, good communication skills, and I feel like for us, just like trustworthiness. Like it's always easier to, play for somebody when you know that what they say is like what's going to happen. Like it's just a lot more comfortable in situations like that, especially in a new, completely setting type thing. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for joining Hootie's Hot Seat. I'm Reed Rampinelli.
I'm JJ LeBlanc. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody.